host, JR.
Top of the day to you. I am your host, JR Flores. You're listening. Check us out online at kernradio.com. You can download that Kern Radio app to your smart device. Take us anywhere you are. Plus, watch us streaming live on YouTube. That's right. Head over to YouTube right now. Search up Kern Radio, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Come along with us every single day as we broadcast live from the Kern Radio studios, brought to you by Adaptive Networks. For all your IT needs, give them a call, 661-241-0638, 661-241-0638. It is Adaptive Networks. Welcome to a Thursday. We have a great show for you lined up. Boy, do we. Whew, let me catch my breath. I had to run down the hall and grab this one last story I wanted to talk about, something we didn't get to yesterday, at least in its entirety. You guys know my new favorite board, the Bakersfield City School District Board of Trustees or Education or whatever they call themselves. Those people, the five of them. They're almost, it's like there's a competition between them and the city council meetings right now, because that was also another good one last night. Speaking of which, our guest today will be City Councilman Zack Bashirtash. He will join us at 2:30. Lots of questions from the councilman last night as $2.5 million was awarded to Lauren Skidmore and the Open Door Network. I'll get into it with Zack about what he's questioning and what is going on with the homeless here. Also, here locally, a daycare. I had caught wind of the story the other day, thanks to Maddie Vollmer over at 23 ABC, a local daycare where 3 members of the family have now been arrested for crimes involving children. I will give you some of the details of those arrests and exactly what is going on, but speaking of crimes against children, how is it that State Senator Shannon Grove defines him? Disgraced former Kern County Supervisor Zack Scrivner is in the news again today as his attorney was in court this morning, Mr. H.A. Sala. They were in a compliance hearing for his mental health diversion. This comes after Tuesday. I believe it was on Tuesday when his son and mother of his children, Christina Scrivner and Robert Scrivner, spoke out at the Capitol with State Senator Shannon Grove in a new bill that she is introducing to kind of set limitations on mental health diversion. And from this morning's hearing, he's in compliance. He's in compliance. He's doing everything that he has to do with mental health. He's being tested, apparently. It doesn't state, or at least I didn't see, what drug that he is being tested for. I also didn't see if he is on any prescribed medication. But they did speak with his attorney, H.A. Sala, afterwards, and they were discussing the Attorney General's office and them turning in a writ that he says, the way he said is they're not questioning the mental health diversion when it comes to the crimes involving the children. What the state is going for, and where I guess they think it's going to be easiest to prove and maybe be able to put him in jail at least, is the weapons. Because how can you prove that for that long of a period that you owned these illegal weapons, were you, according to your attorney and their doctor, having mental health issues? See, that night he can say, look, I took mushrooms by accident. I didn't know. I was actually, I thought I was taking this. I thought I took that. I wasn't in my right frame of mind. And that's why I allegedly got in bed with my daughter. See, the state isn't going to go after that one because that might be a little harder to prove. But they're going to go after the guns one and say, well, he can't use that to say that's the reason that he had possession of these illegal firearms. Is it justice? No. Is it the state trying to clean up their sloppy mishandling of the case? The fact that Bonta's office is more concerned about suing the Trump administration than taking care of things that affect Californians. And so that was Saleh's explanation. They also asked him about Assemblywoman Dr. Jasmeet Bains and her legislation titled The Lords of Bakersfield. He's like, I don't even know why she's doing that. Nobody has said Lords of Bakersfield in decades. Nobody has brought that up in a long time. And what she thinks that has to do with this case, he questions her whole reason. He thinks that he thinks, like most of us here at Kern Radio think, that she thinks that this is going to get her elected to Congress, when she's really better off sticking to what she knows, being a doctor. Hello. Healthcare. So much so that her own party over the past weekend had their California Democratic Conference, in which they handed out endorsements for candidates. And guess who didn't get one? Jasmeet Bains. There is another Democrat in that race against David Valadao. His name is Randy Villegas. And he might actually screw around and beat Jasmeet Bains. And then she's just go back to being a doctor, because she's given up her assembly seat to Andre Gonzalez. But that's the little justice that the state is at least going to try to recover in this. That their petition doesn't include the mental health as it pertains to the crimes against the children, according to disgraced former Kern County Supervisor Zack Scrivner's attorney, Mr. H.A. Saleh. His next court hearing is set for March 26th, in which he'll have to show that he's in continuance of compliance with the mental health diversion order. And if he does it for, I guess, the next year, he will escape at least the charges for now against the children. But I can assure you, as we go to break here, I can assure you that this is not the last we've heard of the story. We will hear the truth in time. In time. Let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll talk about what is becoming my favorite board in town, the Bakersfield City School District. Oh, that 5 of them. Just when you think they're getting along, we can all agree on something, they're back at it again, telling each other. Well, they didn't tell each other to shut up this time, at least. I'll tell you what they did and how they plan, I guess, to fund their new salaries. Plus, I'll talk about a daycare where 3 family members have been arrested. I'll give you the details about that. Plus, our actual favorite meetings, which are becoming very, 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 very good. Our city councilman, Mr. Zack Bashirtash. His official nickname is, can we say it on the air? Can we say Badass Bashirtash? Yeah, we do. That's what we say, Badass Bashirtash. We got to get to a break. He'll come up at 2:30. We'll talk about last night's meeting where they awarded $2.5 million to the Open Door Network. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
It's a good day, y'all. It's a good day. No matter what they say. Woo. So I ran to last night's meeting, city council meeting last night, because I heard it was a good one. Well, we got greetings. What's up, Mr. Eggert? I just spoke with the other Mr. Eggert just texted me. He said, I will tell you what he said. Thanks, JR, for putting me in the same category as Andre. Yo, this reeks of Lords of Bakersfield lore, man. It does, but I don't know if the case. The Lords of Bakersfield were a group of connected men that ran this town that would get runaways, homeless, prostitutes. And I mean, yeah, I think we all know what the Lords of Bakersfield is. It's very much good old boys who you know. Type of stuff, but that was like a whole ring of people like connected doing the same thing. This is just Zack sick in his head, not mentally, but just that's some stuff I don't think pedophilia. It's hard to describe because I want to say it's something like I don't think you can rehabilitate from that. That's going to take a whole lot of prayer, a whole lot of just sacrifice to God your whole entire life and keeping your eyes straight on Him, right? Just how you do with any type of sin. But I think, and I hate to say it's mental because then that exactly puts you in the case for mental health diversion, right? And even when we get into the discussion of mental health diversion, I'm all about getting people the help that they need, whether it be mental health, whether it be substance, whether it be mental health, substance, or finding Jesus. I'm all about getting those people that help, but we can get them that help while they still pay for the crime that they committed. If that makes sense. Woo! Mm. Woo! Tell him, Miss Badu. Happy birthday to Erica Badu. I didn't get to see. I didn't look at her age. You never look and tell a woman's age, anyways. But happy birthday to Miss Erica Badu. We'll show our musical spectrum here today because as it's Erica Badu's birthday, we'll also play another artist coming up here whose birthday it is, and they stretch 2 different spectrums of the musical world. So I like all kinds of stuff. Welcome back. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. Check us out online, kernradio.com. Coming up next in the next segment, anyways, is City Councilman Zack Bashirtash. He is the Ward 6 City Councilman. Not only that, but he's got a business that he runs, I believe is in Ward 7. And so we'll talk to him what it's like in those two places, but obviously his recent comments at city council meetings in regards to homelessness. And last night he had a whole slew of questions when it came to approving the $2.5 million for the Open Door Network. We'll let him explain exactly what took place, what he is questioning, and what he would like to see in the future. The other group of leaders in this town that I have come to probably pay way too much attention to. We should not pay Bakersfield, the school district shouldn't get this much attention. But they seem to just, I don't know, maybe like that I talk about them. It's the same group. What was it? I couldn't even tell you how many months ago, where the one gal told the other guy to shut up. He was trying to make he was trying to ask what does this have to do with pertaining to what we're discussing? And she said, just shut up. Right there on the meeting. These are the same people who are in charge of leading a school district in which we entrust our children to go to. That's the example that they were setting. Well, fast forward to not even a month ago, which is terrible timing with this other topic, but a month ago, if not even a couple of weeks ago, the same group who couldn't get along, who had the district supervisor resign because they were just all just got along just enough. Well, at least 4 of them did, one of them. And the one that I thought, the one I probably disagree with, and we agreed on this one. It always looks bad. And you can argue with me about how they deserve it, and they meet more than just one time a month, and they're involved, and they go to classrooms, they meet with teachers, they talk to this, they go to graduations, they do that. It's a part-time position, and they were making $700 and some dollars, $780 a month doing that. Well, the state had passed a law that said, hey, if you guys would like to, it's not necessary. We're not saying you have to do it. But, if you would like to give yourself a raise by the tune of about, $2,300, we'll give you about $3,000 a month for the size of district that you guys are on the board for. Well, hell, if Mr. Brandon said, hey, JR, here's a sheet of paper. Why don't you go ahead and write down yourself a raise right there? What the heck do you think I'm going to do? Can I be mad at them for that? I mean, how many of us would not go, thank you, Mr. Brandon. Let me go ahead and write down that figure for you. Add another 0. All to catch up to, cost of living and stuff like that. Well, it just so happens that there's also a contract negotiation going down for classified employees, not the teachers, but, cafeteria workers, janitors, bus drivers, people that you entrust when you put them on the bus in the school to get your kid to school every single day. The person you trust to serve your kid to lunch. Those people, they're about worth 1%, according to the raise that they got. 1%. Not a cost of living increase. None of that. Here's 1%. Not only that, but they're looking to eliminate 21 classified positions. Eight of those being lead bus drivers. So now those 8 bus drivers just got a demotion. You're no longer a lead bus driver anymore. Oh, and with that demotion, yeah, well, of course, it's a dock of pay. Because we're in some tight money issues right now. Which, like I said, hell of timing. You just gave yourself raises to $3,000, $2,300 each. I'll do simple math. $2,000 a month each times 5. I know Ralph even got a low SAT score. He can figure that out. Is he in there? He's not in there, is he? Okay. I know he's already walking around the halls. Didn't want a Gavin Newsom moment. You know what I mean, Chris? I'm just like you. Sorry. 10 grand a month to people that have a part-time position. And again, argue with me all you want to about we do more of the meetings, but it's still a part-time position. And hell, my full-time position sometimes will pay 3,000. Let me find a part-time job that pays $3,000 a month. Chris, you in? We could probably get you elected. Hell, I already pulled papers. There's a few of them that are up for re-election. Screw city council. I'll just go be a BCSD board member. You can't even pay the drivers. 2 people voted no to reclassify the drivers and start eliminating positions. One of those people, Dr. Chris Cruz Boone, also voted no to give herself the raise. And look, I get it. Also, the raise argument to the board is, well, it gives others, it's equity. It gives others that might not be able to sit on that board an opportunity to be able to do so, because normally they wouldn't be able to take the time or have, they would have to take time off work or they would miss work and they would lose out on money. This gives other people a chance that may not have ran before to run now. I get all those arguments, but don't 3 weeks later then turn around and tell me that we ain't got no money. We can't pay you more than 1%. I'm sorry. It's going to fall on deaf ears no matter how you try to make it look. Speaking of meetings, budgets, spending money, City Councilman Zack Bashirtash is coming up, Ward 6 City Councilman. He had a lot of questions last night in regards to the $2.5 million awarded to the Open Door Network for their new construction project. We'll ask him what exactly those questions are, why he still approved it, and his feedback on the comments that he's been making regarding homelessness in this community. You're not going to want to miss the next segment. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back.
With us are in news. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has told U.S. House lawmakers that she had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell's crimes at the start of 2 days of depositions that will also include former President Bill Clinton. The deposition on Thursday was paused after Republican Representative Lauren Boebert sent a photo of Hillary Clinton in the room to a conservative influencer who posted it on social media. Iran and the United States held hours of indirect negotiations over Tehran's nuclear program, but walked away without a deal. That left the danger of another Mideast war on the table Thursday as the U.S. has gathered a massive fleet of aircraft and warships in the region. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 17 points. More details at srnnews.com.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
A student with a stolen gun and a backpack at Mesquite High School Wednesday was arrested and the 9mm and high-capacity magazine taken when a school resource officer was told about the student, the guns, and threats made against another student and called Ridgecrest Police for backup. A holdup at Big B's Travel Center in Delano just after midnight Wednesday morning. Tulare County deputies say the suspects had on hoodies and face coverings and drove away in a gray car. They are asking for tips. Abel Rodriguez Almanza of Bakersfield, convicted in a road rage incident June 23, 2020, in which he used his car to force another one into a canal. He faces a possible 13-year sentence. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Attention business owners, are you tired of IT companies that try to squeeze your unique business into their cookie cutter solutions? At Adaptive Networks, they know that no two businesses are exactly alike, and your IT shouldn't be either. While other MSPs offer one-size-fits-all packages, Adaptive Networks takes time to listen and understand your specific challenges, your industry requirements, and your growth goals. They build custom technology solutions that actually fit your business, not the other way around. Whether you're a small local company or a growing enterprise, Adaptive Networks adapts to you. Their customer-driven approach means you get exactly what you need. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't settle for generic IT support. Call Adaptive Networks today and discover what truly customized technology solutions can do for your business. Adaptive Networks, because your business is unique and your IT should be too. Visit adaptive-net.com or call 661-241-0638.
The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays from 3 till 6 p.m.
I thought it was a brilliant speech, and I thought that he provided an absolute political advertisement for everyone running for Congress when he asked, what is the priority? American citizens or illegal aliens? Stand up to show your support for American citizens, and the Democrats did not stand up. That's got to be a banging ad all the way through.
On News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the JR Show.
A little bit of Michael Bolton. It's Erykah Badu's birthday, which I enjoy her music, and it's also Michael Bolton's birthday, and I enjoy his music as well, so just deal with it. I'm a child of the 80s, okay? I grew up with both. My mom loved it, and then I was a hip-hop kid, so get over it. Welcome back to the show. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. Check us out online, kernradio.com. Download the Kern Radio app to your smart device. Take us anywhere you are. You can also watch us streaming on YouTube. Just go over to YouTube, search up Kern Radio, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and come and watch us from the Kern Radio studios. They're powered by Adaptive Networks. For IT needs, give them a call, 661-241-0638. I snuck into the city council chambers last night a little late. I had started watching the meeting a little bit here, and they were discussing some funding in regards to the Open Door Network. And Lauren Skidmore, you guys are familiar with the Open Door Network. And Lauren, she has been a guest on this show and Ralph's show many, many times in the past. She runs basically a shelter for domestic violence and sexual assault victims, mothers and kids. Single women get to come in and stay there when they're going through whatever trauma they have experienced in a safe place where they can recover. And she is in the process of building a new building on a site. And she requested, or they had awarded in the budget of last fiscal year of $2.5 million. during the meeting, there was lots of questions being asked by who is quickly becoming my favorite my real favorite city councilman. He is our guest today. He represents Ward 6. He is City Councilman Zack. I can't say his nickname while he's on the air, can I? Zack Bashirtash. How's it going, sir? Do you know your nickname? Have you caught wind of your nickname, sir?
I've heard it a few times, but I tell you what, man, I've been called all kind of nicknames since I was a kid, so it's all good. I appreciate all of it.
I remember. I can imagine over the last 3 weeks you've been called a lot of names too with your recent comments on homelessness. Let's start there, I guess, in the beginning. What was it? 2 meetings ago when they were talking about the Clean City initiatives and all the work that they've been doing on cleaning up after the homeless mess, and how they were. I get what they were doing. They wanted to tell people what things they have been doing, and I don't think they realized how. At least I was sitting in the meeting, and I'm like, how come we're acting like this is good, that we've picked up more trash over the last year than we ever have before? If we're starting to even make a dent in this, shouldn't it be going the opposite direction? And I think you kind of shared the same sentiments, and that's when you came on. And now, I mean, if you haven't heard it, it's out there. Enough people have saw the comments. You said what you've said. What have you experienced since in the feedback?
Well, it's been over 50,000 emails and text messages from people as far as the East Coast, and most of them are local, all in support, and we agree with you. And then if I had a decent handful of those, like, hey, we agree with you, but what are your plans? And then I've had like less than a 100th of a percentile that have come through. A lot of death threats and
wow,
I hate you and you're this. And my response, and I try to respond to everybody that's ever sent anything in, but my response is always the same. It's like, if you've tracked what I've been trying to get done for the last year on City Council, then you would understand where I'm coming from, and you would understand my perspective, and it wouldn't be the issue that it is. But a lot of people, they only get involved when they see something that strikes close to home, or if they feel they need to fight for somebody or something, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
No, it becomes a lot of pitting against, where what you said. I think they took it personal. You were very emotional in that first one, and so I think when it came across, it hit people with the nerve, which I think needs that, because we need attention to the situation. But some people automatically went and ran to a lot of the providers in town and wanted it to turn into a us versus them situation, and it's not about. I like the work they're doing. I think a lot of that work is needed, but we need more tools in our bag to solve the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like just, it's like instead of teaching people how to be potty trained, we're just buying everybody diapers.
Right.
It doesn't fix the problem. You can't just buy diapers first of all. Eventually, everybody's going to be on it. Budget's going to be out of control, and nothing is going to change. And so I come with the perspective of someone that's worked in that industry and knows quite a bit about it. And, I didn't say we need to destroy our ball. I just said my biggest push is we need to get in front of this as an issue. And, it's wild, man. And I think I may have shared this with you before, but even that week I'm at work in my office and I'm getting chased and threatened to be murdered by a homeless guy. It's absolutely crazy. And so I've got staff and employees watching everything go down. It's just wild that you're fighting for something to make your community better, to protect kids, to do right by business owners, and you're getting threatened to getting killed by the homeless people. You're trying to really get locked up so you can get some help, and then people just want to coddle individuals like that, and just they think they're doing the best by allowing them to just stay on the street to do that to people. And it blows me away.
It does. I guess I'm disappointed when people try to pit us against the providers, because the people that I'm discussing, and I've had this many discussions. I've had it with Carlos Baldovinos, who runs the mission. I've now had the conversation with Jim Wheeler, who runs Flood Ministries. The people that I and you, I believe, are discussing aren't the people that are going to those places for resources. The resources exist. The mission is there. It has been there. The Open Door Network is there. It's been there. Now Brundage Lane Navigation Center is there. It's been there. K Street with the county, it's been there. We have so many providers in this town now. The fact that these people still aren't showing up, those are the people we're talking about.
Yeah, and therein lies the problem. And so, and everybody would say, well, how do you? It's easy. You put some teeth into it. If they know that they can actually go to jail and not just be released because we don't have jail bed space, they may start going into these programs. They may start going into this. And if they don't, they're going to go to jail for breaking the crimes they commit against our community. And hopefully at that point, when they have a few days of sobriety, maybe their defender is getting them sent to a program where they can get substance abuse treatment or the mental health that they need. But, everybody knows that leaving someone in their life of destruction is not doing anyone a favor. Good Lord, it's common sense. It really is. We got to get in front of it and do that. And so last night, that was one of those things. We had an item on the agenda for the Open Door Network, and I appreciate what they do in our community wholeheartedly. My frustration with last night was the fact that it was going to be just passed through without any type of discussion or accountability for our community, and I don't feel right about
rubber stamping just things anymore.
Yes, 100%. And so we pulled it. And we had some conversation about what the needs were, what they do in our community, and we aren't in a position where we can. And to be honest, if it was a new ask, I probably wouldn't have voted the same way that I did, but because it was something that we'd already had committed to and set up. As a business person, I don't believe in telling someone something and then going back on it. I don't think that's the right way of doing it. You got to be a person of your word. And so I hope to have provided some accountability and transparency on what was happening. And then even some of the other items that were discussed and pulled and mulled over. But it's the people's money. I mean, if you want to know any government employees, how much they get paid, you go to Transparent California, you can see how much they get paid because it's your tax dollars that pay their salary. And the moment that, individuals forget that taxes pay for government to exist, they pay for these services, then you may give some representation to people that pay a lot of taxes or businesses that fund these things, because ultimately that's the bank that it's coming from. We don't just print money to fund all of these things. It comes from commerce. It comes from businesses being open, people working and buying.
Yeah, no, and I think it sets good precedent because they're not used to being asked questions, right? Like I said, it's rubber stamp. Oh, sign, approve. Yes. Because for a long time, we've just been throwing money at issues, thinking that that's going to solve it. And there's no accountability. There's been no real audits of money that we've spent. And so you're starting to ask these questions, valid, good questions. Even last night when you knew, okay, this has already been approved, the city manager told us, but that doesn't say that we still can't ask these types of questions. And it's almost because we're so frustrated with all of the money that has been wasted. It's not just, this $2.5 million last night in regards to the Open Door Network. It's the millions and millions and millions that we have been spending, and something has to stop. Some accountability has to come.
Oh, 100%. If we have a solution, we know what to work toward that's going to make our entire community better and help people to feel the difference in what we're fighting for, then we need to make sure we have a budget for it. And if we don't have a budget for it, my perspective is, well, what are we doing that's in front of that we deemed more important that we need to cut back on so that we have the budget to actually allocate towards resources that are going to make us feel a difference in our community to where people are no longer threatened, distressed, not wanting to go to stores, not wanting to commerce, any of those things. And so from my perspective, anything that gets in the way of that being done needs to be thoroughly looked at. If you're going to tell me we don't have the funds or the resources to do this, well, I'm going to scrutinize everything that I think is way less important than this getting done, and I'm going to demand an answer as to why we're funding this when you told me no to this thing that is going to impact everyone in our community. It's the dessert before dinner philosophy. It will never make sense to me, and I'll keep fighting until I can, I guess.
Speaking of funds, you ended up saving some money last night because of all your questions, right?
Yeah. Because people think government, it's easy to take advantage, or, I mean, it's just so much different than the way private businesses work. Good night. And trying to explain that and help people understand that is sometimes very tedious. But there's certain rules that typical private companies and businesses run by, and it's being a man of your word. It's doing the right thing. It's not undercutting anyone and then coming back. There's standards in place. But it seems like the government, it's really easy for people to take advantage of the government, or the government allow themselves to be taken advantage of, because it requires learning and understanding from a different perspective. It requires hard work. And so just making little adjustments and little changes frees us up, saves a few $100,000, gets a few $100,000 there, and all of a sudden you've got an ocean because of the amount of drops that you've saved. So, yeah.
Well, I think you bring that different perspective to the council, because you do run a business, you do run a private business. You're not running, and no offense to any other ones up there, you don't run a nonprofit. You're not spending people. You have to balance a budget every day, or your kids don't get fed. You know what I mean? You get
my kids, but
the kids that your employees, your
employees, yeah, thousands of people are benefited by us being open, and it's. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, like, oh my gosh, it's a tough time right now. It's a tough place in the market, and you just lay in bed, staring at the black ceiling, trying to figure out how you're going to take care of your employees, because business is down. And that's something, and a lot of times in the government sector, they don't have to deal with that. And then so when I'm in these meetings and having conversations, it's because I send a sales tax collection, a check to the assessor. Like, this is how much sales tax we've generated. And so often in our industry, and a lot of these bigger industries that generate these sales tax revenues, we know more about what's going on in the forecast than we know about it before the city does, because we're the one giving the city the money to create their own forecasts and file all of these.
Yeah, they don't see it till they get the check. You see it 3 months ago when the checks weren't coming in like they were before.
Exactly. When I was signing it to send it off, and I'm like, oh goodness, we got a little bit of a dip right here we need to be aware of. And when you have that experience and you bring that to the table, and people are just like discounting it like it's nothing, I'm like, what world do you live in? Like, this is how things get done. This is how we plan so that we have a future for our kids and the rest of the kids in Bakersfield. This isn't, me and you, we're not young. I mean, we're young. I'm not calling you old or myself old, but I'm not trying out for, football or baseball anytime soon. And so these kids, these generations, man, that's what I'm looking out for.
Yeah.
Bakersfield, I long to see this town thrive and just be something that people love and are excited to call home. And I do. I love and call this place that. But I'm like, we've got so much more potential that we could offer our community and constituents. And that's all I'm fighting for.
Yeah, no, and your experience in running a business, a private business, is twofold, because one, you, like I said, you have to run budgets, and you're taking care of many families under you, but you deal with the issues. You're out there, you're in Ward 7, your business, right? And you deal with those issues along the auto mall. You have to put up with a lot of things that other business owners in different area of town are also putting up with.
Yeah, and when I it's difficult to communicate that with individuals. Like, I'm not talking about a window being replaced a few times a year. I'm not talking about a few $1,000. I'm not even talking about 20 or 30 grand. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars because of crime, destruction, theft that we never dealt with on the scale that we have now. I mean, I pay hundreds of thousands of dollars on private security every year, and that's outside of repairs and stuff that gets damaged. I mean, that is wild.
Yeah, that you have to budget that into every year now. That's in your budget.
Exactly. Versus, the many schools that we partner with to get education up, and different organizations that are feeding and taking care of the community. It's like businesses used to be that's how it was. We were philanthropists. We would sow back into the community. We were giving and helping support these organizations so that the city didn't have to, because the city needs to provide infrastructure and public safety. These are the important things. But everything has been so switched up. Now I'm having to provide safety for my businesses and my employees, and the city is providing the resources. And I'm like, man, we need to get this switched back to the way it worked, because it was good the way it was. You had really important people in our community sowing a lot of money into creating parks and businesses and projects that were amazing for our community, instead of, man, I need to sow a lot more into security and this, and I've got to help fund, it's tough. It gets really tough.
And it was, go ahead.
No, I long for the days of us being able to pour our money back into the community for something good that people can enjoy versus fixing something that's been destroyed and broken.
Well, and businesses were more wanting to invest in the community, right? Yeah, I didn't have to give you a grant to move into a certain area because no, you wanted, that area was something you wanted to invest in, not because, oh, you were going to get some money to go into that part.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
It's just wild. Well, I know you're busy because you do run a private business, so I appreciate you taking the time to come on to talk today. I'm sure we will discuss a whole bunch more in the future, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate you, JR. You keep doing what you're doing too, brother.
Well, I appreciate you too, sir. We will be discussing. All right.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you, friend. That is City Councilman Zack Bashirtash. I like to call him Badass Bashirtash. He has been speaking truth at the city council meetings that have been so desperately needed. So desperately needed. Thank you, city councilman. Continue the fight, and we will continue to support you, sir. Got to get to the break. On the other side, we'll take some of your comments. 661-842-5376. 661-842-KERN. You can call, you can text. I'll jump in the chat on YouTube during the break. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back.
News.
I freaking love that man. I'll say that about another man. I love that man. He is good. Dang good. Jail. Send that fool straight to jail. Yes, this week. Let's see where we at. Good afternoon. What's up, Chris Orr? I'll get back to you on the golf thing. Tom, lots of money is appropriated, but it's never followed to see whose pockets it ends up in. That's right, Tom. That's what I was talking about. Accountability. We haven't done audits in gosh knows how long. Gosh, how no. I was a student at BC majoring in criminal justice when all the lords were thriving. Oh, yeah. I think the offer on the table is 1%. The union has not accepted it, so it's not a done deal. Mike Eggert better have voted against it. He did, Jim. He did. Mike did vote against it. Him and Dr. Chris Cruz Boone voted against it. Sunday the 15th, I believe, yes. We need more Zacks on city council. I agree. Voters should vet every candidate, no matter the office. Yup. Don't rely on mall flyers to decide your vote. I like Zack. Bash your ass. Hell yeah, I like that name better. Bash your ass, Bashirtash. If you watch the council meeting, you would be amazed how few questions are asked by the board. It's ridiculous. And yeah, I won't get into who else has. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that one right now. Gonzalez wasn't even there last night. But yeah, they don't ask questions. They don't ask questions. Zack is asking questions of staff. He's asking questions of the city manager. He's asking questions of the city attorney. He was asking questions of Lauren Skidmore, who's the provider. He wanted to know all of it. And good on him. There's nothing wrong with that. And still voted yes. For it. Because he's a man of his word, and it was already budgeted for, and they told him that they would give it to him. Remember when Harvey Hall declared Baco a sanctuary city and jail? Zack Bashirtash for mayor. No, he doesn't need to be mayor. The mayor doesn't have that voting power. We need Zack right where he is. I agree with Sergio. That was a great interview with Zack. We're just discussing common sense and facts. Common sense and facts. Oh boy. Fiesta forever. We're going to this time forever. Sing it. Come on. All night. I know half of you are singing. Don't play. You don't know Lionel Richie. Welcome back. It's the JR Show, Kern Radio. Check us out online, kernradio.com, the Kern Radio app, and on YouTube, Kern Radio, also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X. Just look up Kern Radio. Anything on the board, sir? 661-842-5376.
Nope, we are clear.
You're good. That was great. I want to thank City Councilman Zack Bashirtash for coming on. I know he's a busy man. He's, like I said, runs a private business. And that's the perspective that we need on the city council, because he runs a budget. He runs it every single day. He has to run numbers, make sure everything is covered. He's got employees that depend on him. Kind of like a city that depends on a city council to make sure that things are running the way that they should be, that we have money set aside for the future for when, and no pun intended, S hits the fan, like our sewer systems. But because we've had inept leaders that have had no foresight to even think into the future, Zack talked about forecast. He sees it before the city does. He knows if his business starts to dip, then the city's budget's going to have to take a dip, because that money comes from him and other businesses that aren't doing as well as they used to be. And so 3 months ago, Zack realizes, okay, business is going to start looking at like this. When I go and write that tax to the city, and when I pay my taxes, I know I'm paying a little bit less than I did. That means that they're going to have less money to play with. He gets it. He's a businessman. Not only that, he's got to deal with the same issues that other businesses are dealing with in regards to, and I hate to say homeless, because I don't want to throw the blanket of homelessness in it. I hate using other names. I heard somebody call it the other day. They said, housing is optional. I looked at them like, did you just really call that? So you're not calling them homeless. You're not even going to say unhoused. You're saying housing is optional. I'll give you options. Here's your options on housing. You can get you together and get a house or an apartment or whatever. You could go into one of the numerous shelters that our city and county provide, or there's going to be a place out in Lerdo or maybe Taft one day that will be a perfect option for housing if you so choose that one instead. Look, I'm all about getting people help. There's just different roads to people getting there. It's kind of like the mental health thing. If somebody is truly crazy, yes, I want them to get help, but I also believe that they should pay for the crime that they have committed, and they can get that help. Zack Scrivner could be getting mental health diversion while he is in jail. Some people need different roads to get to the help they need. I don't want to leave like that. Let's leave happy. Hi, everybody. I got to get out of here for the day. Stay tuned tomorrow. It is a Faith Friday, so I don't have my schedule in front of me, but I know I have a guest coming on. We'll talk about faith. Stay tuned for the Ralph Bailey Show. Mike Turnipseed from the Kern Taxpayers Association stops by, and Daniel Petrie from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. This is the JR Show. Lily, Dad loves you.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is.
You guys be good to each other. I love y'all. I love y'all. Sergio, I'm going to get back to you about meeting up. And Chris, I'm going to get back to you about playing golf. Vote Zack.